The Ottawa Senators locked up Shane Pinto yesterday to a 4-year deal worth $30 million. That works out to an average annual value of $7.5 million per season. Probably a little bit higher than people anticipated. I'm sure there's some sticker shock going on around the league, but we are in a new economic environment for the NHL, and that is the going rate for a player such as Pinto. Now, a lot of people will look at that and say, how can the Senators justify spending that on a third-line center? But I got to be honest, and I think a lot of people would agree, Pinto is a second-line center on most teams. Ottawa's just fortunate to have the depth down the middle that they do with Stützle and Dylan Cousins. But I think that Pinto is going to be the second-line center at some point either this year or next. I don't see Dylan Cousins holding on to that role. I think Pinto is going to move past him. And Dylan Cousins is it's a great fit for a third-line center, I think. But a lot of people might point to the point totals and say Cousins has better offensive upside, which, if you look back historically, he's got a 68-point season. Yeah, he's good offensively, but, he's had 47 points past 2 years, done so with quite a bit of power play time. I think last year he had 200 minutes on the power play. Shane Pinto had like 78. Pinto had 2 power play points last season. I don't know exactly how many Cousins had, but it was a lot more than that. Pinto just doesn't get the power play time, so his offensive numbers get a little bit skewed down because of that. So, a lot of people are looking at $7.5 million. They're thinking it's a lot, but again, Pinto drives play 5-on-5. That's where he gets his points. He also gets points shorthanded. He had 5 of them last year. So, looking at this for Ottawa, it's a little bit higher than, I thought it would be. I thought they'd get him for $7 million a season. I also thought they'd get him for 7 or 8 years. He's going to be able to hit free agency at 30 again. For Pinto, it's great. He gets his money short term, $7.5 million a season. It's going to be a UFA at 30. He'll have a chance to cash in down the road if he continues to play the way that he's playing. But, in the short term, makes sense for Ottawa. Looks good for Ottawa. They got, the big guys locked up. They're going to have to deal with Drake Batherson at the end of next year. And Kachuk, 2 years from now, or I guess 2.5. But, for at least the short term, they got their guys locked up. They got Sanderson, Stützle locked into very reasonable deals. We'll see where it goes for Ottawa, but the next few years look pretty good for them. Comment below, what do you think of the Pinto signing for the Senators?